Welcome back, and now to our state's controversial top cop who continued his desperate effort this week to avoid testifying under oath in the civil litigation brought by his whistleblowing top lieutenants. Paxton has already conceded the facts in the case, that is, he abused his power and retaliated against his aides in violation of the law. But the victims here want truth far more than money, and succeeded in convincing the trial judge to order Paxton's testimony. Enter the all-Republican Texas Supreme Court, which in almost synchronized fashion blocked Paxton's deposition just hours after former President Donald Trump called on them to do so. Panel with the reprieve, Paxton moved on to the business of suing 5 Texas cities for deprioritizing prosecution of defendants and possession of small amounts of marijuana. All right, Holly, what do you make of this?
This is where I get to make both sides mad. I've always said on this, you know, those who were pushing impeachment, it seems like it was premature. The issues had not been fully adjudicated in the courts. It was really badly put together and rushed through, so that was a big problem. And I don't blame the Senate for voting to acquit in this case. However, I know you do. We've talked about this a lot. But, you know, it's good now that these issues are going forward in the courts. You know, of course, we have the case here in Harris County on this securities fraud and the whistleblower case. You know, even though the Supreme Court said that they're not going to be able to depose these people, the trial is going forward. So you still could have a situation where these witnesses are called on the stand. It's just not going to be in a private deposition. It could actually be in the trial itself. So we may still get to hear testimony. However, I wouldn't underestimate the techniques of the legal team to try to get out of even that. I think we'll have more action this week in this case. And, you know, I just want to say I think it was a little bit distasteful for everybody to put pressure on the Supreme Court. I mean, these are judges that are supposed to evaluate based on law.
It's their job.
It's their job. And, you know, I would note one other thing. I read that, you know, people who donate to Trump's campaign are paying for his legal defense. You know, maybe Paxton ought to tap that instead of asking the taxpayers to pay these settlements.
Well, I'll take 30 on this.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that the Attorney General came out and basically pled no contest to all of the allegations that were made against him. He left the responsibility now for coming up with the settlement back to the Texas House, which is what led to the impeachment proceedings in the first place. So it'll be interesting to see where the House goes with this and what they determine. The facts are eventually going to come out as to what's happened here. The FBI is still watching all of this from the background. They're waiting for the April 15th trial here in Houston on the securities fraud issue, and then they'll make a determination if there's something that they need to be looking at on this matter. To turn the attention on these cities that on small amounts of marijuana seems a bit like a sledgehammer drive an attack.
I'll leave it there.